I've been following a couple of sports lately. Well, one of them, chess, I follow kind of constantly, or at least when there's big tournaments going on, like the Candidates Tournament, which is the tournament that selects the guy who plays for the world title. I say guy because it's always a guy. And but the other sport I've been following is, well, these days, tennis. And partly it's because I get up early in the morning, I get on the treadmill, and it's fun for me to watch tennis because it's a pretty good motivator while I'm on the treadmill. And of course, what we see now is the beginning rounds of the US Open. But I've been kind of taking note, both in chess and tennis, of who are the players in the top ranks. And I think we can see, even in sport, a kind of interesting reflection of how the world is changing around us. Sometimes it's the small indicators that are as revealing as anything else. We're tempted to look for big indicators like this China invading Taiwan, things that show global superiority or military prowess, who's winning the Ukraine war, that kind of thing. But let's look at something very simple. Let's look at chess. Now, if I think back a generation ago when I first came to America, or a little before, even in India, I followed chess. And the chess world was really dominated by the Russians. And then you had, of course, the American superstar, Bobby Fischer. And so the World Chess Championship 1972, Fischer versus Spassky. It was kind of a Cold War event with Fischer representing the United States, Spassky representing the Soviet Union. In the candidates tournament leading up to that, Fischer had to play largely a bunch of Russians to get to the final. So it was the Russians and the Americans, and that reflected really the state of the world. Now, if you look at the chess world, it's completely different. The world champion, Magnus Carlsen, is from Sweden. Interestingly, he's decided not to play for the title. So the two guys playing for the new chess championship of the world is, one of them is Jan Nepomniachtchi, a Russian, and the other Ding Liren, a Chinese. So right there you begin to see emerging powers. Russia is still in there, a real force in chess, but China finally has a world-class player who could actually be the next world champion. The world champion before Magnus Carlsen was an Indian guy, Vishwanathan Vishy Anand, and India is now becoming kind of a chess superpower. If you look at the younger players, you've got this guy Pragnananda, you've got Gukesh, you've got a guy named Hari Krishna. These are all teenagers or guys in their early 20s, and they are playing in a way that makes them contenders for the world title. There's no Bobby Fischer on the horizon anymore. Now, the United States has some world-class players who are in the top group of, let's say, the top 10 or the top 15. There's a guy named Wesley So, but as his name suggests, Wesley So is a Filipino, not an American. He was brought to America by the lure of playing for more money in the United States. There's a guy named Fabiano Caruana. This guy was born in Italy. He's Italian. But again, he was lured to America to play on the American team. And the third guy, the third top American, is a guy named Nakamura. Now, this guy is an Asian American, but isn't it interesting here that what you see is you've got the three top players from the United States are all, you may say, Oriental. They're all respectively, well, not all Oriental. One from the Philippines, one Asian American, and the third guy from Italy. If you turn to tennis, I'm noticing that on the men's side, where's Jimmy Connors? Where's Sampras? Where is Agassi? Where is McEnroe? America no longer dominates the men's game. In fact, there's one American currently in the top 25. That's Isner. And the other handful of Americans are all there are a few in the top 50. But that's a long way from number one. With Serena Williams now exiting the stage after this US Open, you notice that the top players are mainly Europeans. There are one or two important Chinese players. There are very good Russian players and Eastern European players. And so what I'm getting at is that you can see in sport, and you've got to look at sports that everybody plays. You can't just say, well, let's look at basketball. We're the only country that's playing basketball. Then obviously the top players are going to be Americans. But you're beginning to see in sports that everybody plays that we are moving from a unipolar or a bipolar world, which was the world of the late 20th century, to now a multipolar world in which countries like China, like India, like Russia, are moving alongside and in some cases eclipsing the United States in the very forefront.